Did you miss me? Probably not. Welcome back, friends, to a Spruce Stomper adventure. On today's episode, giving this rustic barn a little bit more curb appeal. First things first, accessibility. Oh boy, we've got ourselves a bit of a squash and a squeeze here. We gotta lift the shed, level the shed, put tin on the shed, and just fancy it up in general. And normally when I find something construction related that's been put together with deck screws, you're kind of bummed out. But in this case, man, am I glad to see that it's screws and not nails. The intention of this barn originally, for goats, but it's got a flat, smooth bottom made out of pressure treated, I think it's pressure treated. Oh, I hope it is, we'll find out. So that it can be moved around, drug around with a tractor, flat on the bottom. It's never moved from this spot, and they say it never will. So we're gonna get it up out of the moisture, add a little longevity to the building, and allow us to level it. We got a bit of a problem here that we got to resolve before we can do any sort of flashing. As you can see, we'll probably need a sheet of plywood here. Goats, barn animals are hard on stuff, and of course, when's the best time to do this kind of stuff? When the ground's already frozen. Luckily for us, it isn't that frozen yet. You just come around and ransack everything. The gates were all closed when I got here, but I took the fence down. Ain't no keeping them out now. It's like a glutton. You're a pig. But the wall is not sitting on the platform. It's just sitting in the dirt. But that holds up the roof beam. And this is the same. This outside 2x6 wall, it appears to be sitting on the outside of the frame. So how is it attached? Is it attached to the platform? And what do I need to be blocking up here? So the best I can figure is we're just gonna start jacking and we're just gonna see what happens. It's gotta go somewhere. I mean, it's got about 77 deck screws in it, so probably be fine. Now, if you don't own at least 14 jackalls, I'm not even sure you can really call yourself a man. You might own 14 jackalls, but only 1.5 of them work. You ever get that feeling where you kind of feel like you're doing something kind of dumb? You're like, there better be an easier way to do this. Well, yeah. Why are we trying to jack in the dirt when we could simply attach a board to the wall and then use a few structural screws to hold it on, and then we can jack into the board and have lots of room for the old jackall handle? That is using the noodle. These structural screws turn into a very, very expensive addiction. This is meant for building things, shear rated. I've wondered this before in videos, but I feel like I need to touch on it again. If the screws are green, brown, or yellow, and say general construction or decking, they're not for holding things together that need to hold a load. Keep that in mind. Structural screws, but these are pricey. How many was in a box? 40? 50? 50 pieces? The box was like $44. These are 4 inches long. Yeah. All right. The last click of the jack. That worked good. Up off the ground. That gives me a better idea how it's built. So very oddly, there's like walls that are framed on the outside, but then the floor and the floor joists are attached to the walls, but on the inside, so we have to give it some support. You know, slide these 4x4s under, put them on the pavers, get it level, then we should be able to deal with some of these other structural issues so our fascia will fit. The beauty of setting things up on blocks on a building that's not a permanent foundation is that it's real easy to just jack a corner here and there with a small jack and add shims to it. You know, as a homeowner, if you want to level it over time, this is really good soil, so it's not going to go anywhere. But if you have to, it's not a bad way to go about it. If you're building up on them pre-made Home Depot blocks, you know, it can be adjusted. A floor jack is a useful item. a little bit less intimidating than the jackal. Some people fear for their fingers and their face. All right, we got something we can work with here now. They're all jacked up. And then what I've decided to do with the material I got is I got 4 pavers here. I got one on the joint, that's why those two are so close together. One in that middle, not really carrying much of a load, you know, just a little shed, supporting the weight, carrying down to the ground and the floor joist system. Not too worried about it. We're gonna have 2 8-foots after I get my pieces cut, and then we can put that in between like that to pick up the load of the end walls. Not that they're supporting anything, they're just carrying the load of themselves, but it's better to, you know, the more it's supported, the better, I think. And then that way, if it's got to be leveled or moved in the future, you got lots of options. Of course, the easy part's the going up part. The coming down part, with these supremely manufactured and maintained jackals, is usually a little bit stickier. Probably should do that before you try and use them. It's incredible how much better they work when they're not rusted shut. It works, it's like brand new now. Oh, yeah, that one works like it's brand new now. Ooh. Crunch, crunch. Tried to get me. So I go around the back, move our lifting board. We got a little power cord problem. What you want to do when you have a building suspended on 2 jackals, you want to walk around inside of it, maybe jump around, yeah, test integrity. What's going on here? Oh, there you go. All right, we got all the slack now. Perfect. Parked in a rough neighborhood here. I got an intruder. Excuse me. You're not looking to steal my tools, are you? No? You'd probably just eat them, to be honest. Got her as level can be. Same setup on the back. Got the split. And then we added in these end pieces, the 8-foots on the outside. So basically now the entire floor and roof system will be supported by foundation. And we'll just go ahead and let her down. Flush that up because we're professionals. Just gotta do that. All right, well, we got level on the bottom all the way around, but we don't have, that isn't level, that slopes in, that slopes in. That wall's dead money. The good stuff, right on the money. But then this wall, look at this. So you go like that. That, it's not level. Because, if you go like that, that plate, see, now it's perfect. So I don't know what happened here. So it's all flat on the bottom, but it's, I don't know. The walls aren't the same height. What are you gonna do? I can't tell you, I wasn't here. But what we can do is straighten it up 100%, make it look classy, and then give it a dressing on the outside so it looks just as sassy as the rest of the buildings around here. So we got a couple of years worth of shit built up here. You wouldn't shim a beam, in my opinion, if you didn't have to, if there's some other means. But in the case of this beam, we're gonna put a post in the middle that's actually going to pick up. It's less than an 8-foot span with a couple of 2x10s. There ain't much else a guy can do. I mean, it's got about 3,000 deck screws in it, so we're going to shim it level so the fascia matches, and then we're going to clad it, and it's going to be Cadillac. There, a little less goat chewed and a lot more level. At least we can put the tin on now, not have to worry about what we're chasing. What do you think? Do you approve? Do you approve? Hello. Well, that will conclude the structural portion of the project. We're up out of the dirt so it won't go rotten. And the tin package is in, so I gotta go do that in the morning. We're dump trailer 1 to pick up trailer 2, get the load of tin, and with any luck, use the flat deck trailer as a work surface. Because, well, we deserve the luxuries. Figure you might want to join me for the last chunk of the sheet here. We got a little issue though. The power cord, it's just an extension cord, but it needs to remain. If I just move it over a hair, it'll fit inside the rib. I just happen to have the right size drill bit here, I think. You just gotta get lucky every once in a while. And if you ever needed to take it out, you could just pop a couple screws loose and you could have your extension cord back. Oh man, that turned out good. I like it. But this is what we did around the door. Just nice trim. And then over here, because it gets real skinny, we transition back into J trim, and that way it's still all the same color, but I got a little bit more room here to work with for the corner cap, which I'll show you when we get to that point. But yeah. That's how all tin goes. Hours to put the trims up, and that literally took 10 minutes to put up the sheets on the back. Like, if they're straight and level, which that was the whole point of jacking the building up yesterday, you got a good place to start. A ladder would probably help the situation. I don't want to kink that because I don't want to cut another one. Yeah, let's see. The corner pieces really pull it together. So onto the fascia flashing, and it'll turn like that kind of a drab look to a goat barn. It'll look like it's going 100 miles an hour, basically. I just wrap the end like that. That's just a 1 inch. Why 1 inch? Because the bar folder has a preset depth on it. That's an inch. So bar folder, 1 inch. That's why that is 1 inch and 3/8. And if you're wondering how to hold stuff by yourself, and you're thinking, man, screw shopper, I can't afford an employee. Well, I don't want one. So this is gonna be your friend. An awl, that's actually not an awl. You can get a nice awl with a nice handle on it, but those are nail set punches for finish nails. They're cheap. I buy them in 3 packs, and then I just sharpen the end with an angle grinder or whatever, and they take a pounding because it's already a hardened punch. I don't like the big, sometimes I don't like the big plastic handle on an awl. I quite like those, so done deal. And that'll hang out there until I'm ready to put a screw in it, or until the wind kicks up and blows the whole works down. You never know. So in order for these pieces to go together properly, you gotta open up the hem, which is a lot easier to do on the ground. Just like that. Just twist that open. And then the mating piece can slide inside and it locks it all together. See, then on this side, that hem is cut back roughly a 45, the length that I want it to slide inside. Then they become 2 become 1.
So it laps it together. If you just lap them over top of each other, the hem sits on top of the other hem and you get this big gross looking mess. So sun was too bright on the flashing. I couldn't see the pencil mark. What an odd thing to complain about this time of year, eh? Oh, that dang sun's too bright. I'm happy that the snow isn't 3 feet deep. Nearly froze to death the last couple days. Ah, take it in. Vitamin D on your face. It's gotta be good for your health. And I found that in there yesterday. Big old wasp nest. See, it's a good thing we left this job till the fall. Could have got stung. And now for the final touch. We must put the fence back to keep those 2 turkeys. Well, they look peaceful right now, but trust me, they're on the loose, up to no good. Now, I'm not entirely certain here, but I think this might be the world's longest 2x4. When's the last time you seen like a 20-foot 2x4? Ah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. I don't know why you'd want one. The old magnet sweep. The most critical part of any cleanup, really. Nobody likes flat tires and animals don't like to eat metal trim pieces, so we clean up. Now, folks, I want to remember when you're watching this, it isn't just because someone wants something to look a specific way. This is a show of folks that want to keep their property in proper condition and then look to the future to make sure that these outbuildings don't end up costing more down the road. It was sitting in the dirt. It was unprotected from the elements. Now, both those problems solved, up off the ground, basically a fireproof goat house. And it aesthetically matches everything else. If you want to see what this building matches, the channel's got a video called Flying a Giant Truss Roof. You'll see the big brother to this little building. But anyways, as always, I really appreciate you watching. I enjoy filming them. No idea what the next adventure is going to be, but certain there's going to be one. Catch you later.